Hi guys, welcome back to Learning English and Literature. In this video, I will explain the answers for the Literature and English WAEC Examination 2020. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and let's reach a wider audience. Okay, in this video, I will attempt questions 1 to 20, which is the general appreciation questions, and I will explain the answers and the other options. Question 1, a situation where an audience is aware of an action a character is ignorant of is A, dramatic irony, correct? B, comic relief, no. C, aside, no. D, satire, no. A situation where the character is on the stage, but he's not aware of what's going on, but the audience is aware, is referred to as dramatic irony. For example, in Gods Are Not to Blame, when Ojola said to Odewale, "It is you I married, not my son," the audience knew that Odewale is also Ojola's son, but Ojola does not know, Odewale also does not know. So that is a perfect dramatic irony. Comic relief is used in tragedies to douse the tension. Aside, you'll find that in my dialogue videos. Satire is a type of drama or type of writing that ridicules. Question 2. A fictional prose which is neither a novel nor a short story is A, allegory, no. B, fable, no. C, novella, yes. D, novelette, no. So we are looking at a type of prose that is not a novel and is not a short story. Allegory and fable off, because they can both be a novel and a short story. It all depends on the number of words. Novelette is a short novel. That means it's a novel here. Okay, so that disqualifies it. Let me explain how you can actually identify a short story, a novelette, a novella, and a novel. A short story contains 7,500 words and below. It shouldn't be more than 7,500 words. A novelette contains between 7,500 words and 17,499 words. A novella contains 7,500 words and 39,999 words, while a novel contains 40,000 words and above. A short story can also be a novelette, because if the novelette ends at 7,500 words, you can also refer to it as a short story, because short story contains a maximum of 7,500 words, while a novelette begins from 7,500 words. So novelette and short story, they share that in common. A novella must contain between 7,500 words and 39,999 words. You see, it is longer than a short story and it is shorter than a novel by just one word. A novella must not exceed 39,999 words, okay? And it must not be below 7,500 words. So you see how novella is the answer. It is longer than the short story and it is shorter than the novel, okay? I will deal with it when I'm discussing classification of prose types. Question 3, condensed use of language is a dominant feature of A, comedy, no. B, poetry, yes. C, prose, no. D, tragedy. Poetry is a shortened form, but yet it contains the same message, okay? So it's written in short form, the language is condensed, it's short, okay? A poem, rarely do you find a poem that contains 2 pages. The sudden reversal of a character's fortune in a literary work is A. Denouement, no. B. Hamartia, no. C. Hubris, no. D. Peripetia, correct. Now, this happens usually to a tragic hero. This is a reversal of the character's fortune. Denouement is the same thing as resolution. Hamartia is the tragic flaw. Hamartia is the tragic flaw, what leads to the character's downfall, while hubris is the pride that also leads to the character's downfall. So the correct option here is D, peripetia. Read the extract below and answer questions 5 to 7. With the pen, he wrote kings into reality. With his words, kingdoms arose. Those same words, slave inhaled, their hands building walls, their feet tramping territories. His pen was like the breath of life. The underlined words illustrate A, hyperbole, very correct, B, irony, C, metonymy, D, paradox. The correct option here is hyperbole, because here this expression is exaggerated. With his words, kingdoms arose. This is pure exaggeration. Question 6, hands and feet in line 4 illustrates. Hands and feet in line 4 illustrates A, contrast, no. B, lithos, no. C, personification, no. D, synecdoche, very correct. Synecdoche is that figure of speech where you use part of a human being or animal or any other object to describe the whole. So hands and feet here are parts of human beings, okay? So this is perfect synecdoche. Question 7, his pen was like the breath of fire. This is a bonus to me, simile. Comic relief occurs in A, comedies, B, pastorals, C, romance, D, tragedies. Comic relief, like I explained in question 1, is used to douse the tension in tragedies. So correct option here is D. 1 week of fasting makes 1 week. Apostrophe, no. Paradox, no. Pun, yes. Sarcasm, no. I told you to understand pun, you must first understand homophones. Here, you use 2 words with the same sound but different meanings. Week and week. This refers to the days of the week, and this refers to the physical condition of a human being. So this is perfect pun. Option C is the correct answer. Students rarely read Julius Caesar these days. Illustrates A, caesura, no. Caesura is a line of poetry. B, eponym, very correct, I'll come back to that. C, oxymoron, no. D, zeugma, no. The correct option here is eponym, because eponym is the title of a book or poem named after the major characters, like Julius Caesar, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Tom and Jerry, Oliver Twist. Okay, so here Julius Caesar refers to both the title of the play and also the person himself. In literature, the term poetic justice applies to a story that ends well, no. Characters that are spared death, no. The development of a good plot, no. The rewarding of good characters and punishing of bad ones, perfect. Here, the bad guy dies, the good guy survives. Question 12, ascribing human moods to nature, as in playful breeze, illustrates A, humor, no. B, pathetic fallacy, very correct. C, symbolism, no. D, transferred epithet. Let me explain the difference between pathetic fallacy and personification. Personification gives human actions to objects. Pathetic fallacy gives human moods, human feelings to objects. An angry jog, that is not personification, that is pathetic fallacy, because you take the mood of a human being, angry, and you give it to an object, jog. Okay, so pathetic fallacy is the correct answer. Question 13. The end of a performance is followed by a curtain call, correct? B, curtain raiser, no. C, epilogue, no. D, interlude, no. A curtain call, once the performance is over, the characters come out and bow to the audience. That's a curtain call. Read the line and answer question 14. Marching along 50 scores strong, great-hearted gentlemen singing this song. I wonder the type of song they were singing. The underlined words illustrate A, assonance, B, consonance, C, onomatopoeia, D, repetition. Okay, assonance, you look for a vowel sound placed in the middle and used consecutively. Consonants, you look for consonant sounds placed in the middle of words. So if you look at these words here, you have the or. Let's pick, the correct answer here is assonance because the prominent sound here is the vowel. On. Question 15. A short poem with a witty or sarcastic ending is an A, ballad, no. B, allegory, no. C, epigram, very correct. D, panegyric. An epigram is like a paradox written in verses. For example, those I fight, I do not hate. Those I guard, I do not love. It's a witty saying, okay? Rather confusing, you don't understand what the guy is saying. The meaning lies deep. Question 16. The big ball that blasted the house illustrates, now this is a bonus for me, BBB, alliteration. Read the extract and answer questions 17 and 18 below. I find no peace and all my war is done. I fear and hope, I burn and freeze like ice. The dominant literary device used in the lines is, now the exaggeration, the hyperbole could be found in this expression here, the second line, the last phrase. It's more paradox than, you see, here you find your paradox. So the dominant, here you find your paradox, but in this last part, you find hyperbole. I find no peace and all my work is done. These are conflicting ideas, okay? It makes someone gets someone confused. How can you not be at peace when you are done with all your wars? How can you fear and hope at the same time? The correct option here is paradox. The dominant literary device used in the lines is paradox. Question 18. The feeling of the narrator in the extract is that of A, confusion, B, fatigue, C, love, D, joy. Perfect answer here, confusion, because now to get that, to make sure the answer is correct, all these figures of speech, it is only paradox that can get you confused, okay? It is only paradox that can get you confused. For example, when someone says, the child is the father of that man, that is simply paradoxical, and it is more confusing because it will take you some time for you to understand the meaning if you will understand at all. So the correct option here is A for question 18, confusion. Question 19, which of the following is written by an African playwright? A, She Stoops to Conquer, no. B, A Raisin in the Sun, no. C, Lonely Days, no. D, Blood of a Stranger, yes. Now let's emphasize this. The question reads, which of the following is written by an African playwright? That means we are looking for a genre, drama. If it's a novel, no. A playwright, okay? A playwright does not write a novel. A playwright writes plays. So we are looking for a drama text here. She Stoops to Conquer, drama, but written by Oliver Goldsmith. A Raisin in the Sun, drama, but written by Lauren Hansberry. Lonely Days was written by Adebowale, an African author, but Lonely Days is not a play. Lonely Days is a prose. Lonely Days is a novel. But Blood of a Stranger, written by Dele Charlie, the Sierra Leonean, is a play. So the correct option here is D. I know some people will get options C and D confusing, but once you understand the question very well, you will know that they're asking you to identify a playwright, not a novelist. Adebowale is a novelist, Dele Charlie is a playwright. Question 20, which of the following is written by a non-African poet? Piano and drums, Gabriel Okara, no. The Dining Table, Barnabam Hallowell, no. The Schoolboy, yes, William Blake himself. D, The Panic of Growing Older by Larry Peters. The correct option here is C. William Blake is a non-African poet, one of the romantic poets in history.